Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Miss Barbara Bray with us, innovative educator, great lady doing some really neat things. And I'm so thankful to have her on this episode of the Success Chronicles. So first off, thanks so much for taking the time to interview.
Oh, Chip, this is an honor. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Good deal, good deal. Well, let's dive into it. I know off air, we talked about a little bit about your story, but if you don't mind sharing your story with the audience and tracking it till now.
Well, I've had multiple paths.
Mm.
I'm an educator, but when I started out as a young child, I wasn't very good in school. I was told there was something wrong with me. I kept asking questions. They didn't like that. And so they tracked me in as someone with a real problem. And I was bored and angry and didn't do very well. So, but I graduated, and then I grew up in Maryland,
Okay.
right outside of DC,
Okay.
and it was a wonderful place to grow up. I had a lot of friends, but my parents decided to move the day after I graduated to California. I was even angrier, like, what? You're taking me from all my friends and all the graduation parties, all that. But I ended up at a really cool school, and it's a community college.
Mm-hmm.
And there was an English teacher who believed in me and loved my writing, had me share it, and had me enter contests. I won contests and it changed me.
Yeah.
But something else changed me. I still didn't believe in me. And when I finished 2 years, the counselor said, you're pretty smart here. You got A's in chemistry. That's pretty, okay. So anyway, it goes, there's a new program here. You should try it. It's the dental hygiene program. And I go, really? Yeah, it's really good. So I did, and I got in it. There was like 700 applicants, 18 spots. I got one of the spots, and I became a dental hygienist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where I go. I have a book, and it's all about the why. And I say, don't rent someone else's story. And that's what I did. I rented the story that I could come in and be a dental hygienist. But when I got that spot, 18th spot, you're stuck there. So I finished, and I'm not saying it's a bad profession. It was a good profession for me to raise my children and everything. But I started teaching dental hygiene, and then all of a sudden,
a little
teaching.
different. Yeah.
Then something else happened. Computers. I'm pretty old. I've been around when the computer just started. I mean, they were really big, and I saw everything, and I got one. It cost me gazillion dollars just to have it so I could take it apart and put it back together again. My family goes, what's wrong with mom? She's like, ah. And so I became enthralled with computers, enthralled with teaching, went back to school. And then we were having our house remodeled, and I went out to get my dog off the deck, tripped, fell, broke my leg and my neck. Yeah. And all of a sudden I couldn't feel my fingers, so I couldn't do dental hygiene anymore. And I decided I got to change my life. Why am I doing something it's not my passion? My passion is education and technology and getting kids all excited. And so it took a fall to get me to go to my passion. And I think I don't want other people to go through that. So that's kind of like how I got into education. And I've never regretted one moment, not one moment.
Good stuff. Lots of neat experiences in that. And I think it's really neat when we have the awareness to take the things that we learn and take those and use those to help others. It's awesome when we can do that.
Well, it was kind of a weird journey,
Yeah,
but it was hard. It was difficult because I had patients that followed me. I loved them. And when I sat there, I was in traction for 3 or 4 months. Not one checked in with me. And I thought, well, of course they wouldn't. Why would they,
Yeah.
But I was feeling like there's something missing here in my life.
Yeah.
And educators, they're amazing. I just can't tell you how the world I'm in, it's so beautiful with people who want to give and serve and be there for others. It's just beautiful.
It's good stuff. Well, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Well, the first one is the connections I've made. It all started in the 90s. I didn't realize that I'm a connector. And I was at a conference, and in the middle of the rows, and a librarian comes up to me and starts talking to me. And then another librarian comes up, and I go, hey, do you two know each other? No. I said, well, you should know each other because you both do the same thing. And then another librarian showed up that didn't know him. And I said, I got to start doing these connections. And that's number one. I started a group called Tech Staff Develop. I had ended up with 400 people in Yahoo groups in the 90s, before Facebook, before all these others. And I even had a women's consortium network. And we went to Silomar and talked about how we can get more women as keynoters, all that kind of stuff. So that's number one. Wait a minute, let me think of what's number two. I started getting stories, and the stories of everyone, why they got into education. And I started doing speaking tours and becoming a speaker. And I decided in 2017 to start my podcast. So I have a podcast like you called Rethinking Learning, but it's now about the why. And I'm doing reflections, and I have just put up 108. So it's not as many as you, but but I also have reflections, and I'm doing videos and other things. And third, the stories led to me writing books. So I have 3 books. My first 2 are on personalized learning. I co-authored those, and I was doing personalized learning all around the country and the world, really. But that's when I decided I needed, the why was missing. And that's where I got the stories about people's struggles and how they do what they love. And so I wrote, my last book is Define Your Why. And it's all of that was from the stories that I got.
It's good stuff. Certainly 3 pretty neat things to be proud of. Such a cool journey. And I would consider all of that to be hugely successful. So let's hit on success. What is your definition of success?
Well, through my searching for my why, I started thinking of Confucius. Confucius says, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life, right? And I had been doing, a long time. I was doing something I wasn't my passion. But I found Ikigai. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
Oh, cool. I get to share it with you. Ikigai is the Japanese concept for the meaning of life. It's Ikigai. And I have chapter 6 it's chapter 6 in my book. It's all about Ikigai. And it has
Ikigai.
Ikigai.
Okay.
And in Japan, there's no word for retirement. They figure that if you have a purpose, every day you get up, there's a meaning for it. It gives you that feeling that you're doing something, one you love, but there's a purpose behind it. So that's what Ikigai is about. It's what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs. And then I changed the last one to what your value is. They had it what you're paid for. I really don't think it's the money. It's nice if you make money, but it's also if you feel you're valued and respected, that's success.
So good. So good. Well, before we get off, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you and check you out and show you some love.
Well, I have a website called barbarabray.net. It's called the Rethinking Learning website.
Mm-hmm.
And you just go to Barbara, BARBARAY.net. I say that because people spell it wrong.
Yes.
And my podcasts are there. And I started a new one under the podcast. There's Reflections now.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I have my book study guides, and my latest one on Define Your Why has its own tab.
Good stuff. Well, again, I just want to say thanks so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles. Thanks so much for sharing your journey. Thanks for all you do, and I wish you continued success.
Oh, thank you so much, Chip. This was wonderful. Thank you.
Good deal. Well, thank you, and thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.